Hi everybody, Speaker Medic here. Today we have a couple of 18-inch JBLs on our bench to rebuild. These are 2241Hs, and this may be a little bit long, but I'd like you to watch and listen and learn. So, this is a JBL 2241. We've just cut the voice coil out of this particular speaker for rebuilding, and this is a factory JBL. It's been in there a long time. You can see it's kind of light and aged, but this is the original factory JBL. We've cut it out. I'd like you to take a good look at the voice coil here. This is the voice coil. You see this has bottomed out a little bit and caused some damage to the coil. But this is what we call an edge wound voice coil. It's not round wire. This is actually flat wire, aluminum wire that is wound on its edge by a precision machine. There are no gaps. It's the exact same height. You know, I mean, well, this is original. So this is actually factory specs. There's no two ways about it. This is a factory spec voice coil. Now, the reason for this is, as you know, Orange County Speaker is closed. They were in business for 46 years doing speaker repair. They were an authorized JBL dealer. Since we started business, prior to the year 2000, we've been in this for about 17, 18 years now. We have always maintained our prices at a rate 25% below Orange County. In other words, we used to send things to Orange County and we would get dealer cost on them. Our costs, what we charge our customers, are the same as what Orange County's dealer cost was. So you're already paying 25% less through us than you were for them. Now, some people still think that maybe we're a little bit high. However, this is a certified shop. We do have our training, we have our certificates on the wall, and we use nothing but factory specification parts. Now, some people have been going to Mexicali lately because there is a guy still down there, and obviously he's cheaper. Let me show you something here real quick. This is the type of voice coil that we're going to use to repair this speaker. You see how the windings look exactly the same? The former is the same material. This is called Kapton. It's good to 750 degrees before it can break down. This is also wound as an edge wound wire, factory specifications in every way, right down to the resistance. The resistance and impedance, you know, don't confuse the two. Impedance is totally different than resistance. When you hear 8 ohms, it's 8 ohms impedance, and that's how the wire reacts to a measurement within a magnetic field. Resistance is strictly measuring the actual resistance in ohms resistance across the wire. And even though this says on it 8 ohms, 1878-8, 8 means 8 ohms, this will actually measure on a meter like this, and I'll show you that later, at, well, about 6.3 to 6.5 ohms resistance. That'll give you your 8 ohms impedance. Okay, this is the type of product we use. Factory specification in every way, in weight, in wind, in size, exactly the same as a factory spec. Now, if you're willing to pay the money for the JBL speakers to begin with, and you were going to rebuild that speaker, why would you want anything less than factory spec? Even if it saved you a few dollars, it's not going to be the same. This brilliant piece of workmanship is what is coming out of Mexicali. This is hand wound. The formers that they use, this is round wire. You can see that. You can see that it's not even wound evenly because he just winds it around by hand. But this is made, the former is made out of, this is the aluminum that they use for newspaper printing presses. After they're done with it, they cut it up. It's just basically scrap metal. They make it out of aluminum. You can see it bends, it deforms. It's much heavier than this. This voice coil is probably 4 times the weight, 5 times the weight. I mean, I can actually feel the difference. 5 times the weight of our voice coil. which will absolutely screw up your sensitivity in your speaker. In other words, since there's so much weight in the voice coil, there's that much more momentum when the speaker goes in and out. It doesn't have the sensitivity. It doesn't have the proper slew rate. What happens is, say you're driving a car down the street and you don't have your seatbelt on and you're the speaker, and if those brakes are, somebody slams on the brakes, the car stops and wants to go back, but you don't. You go forward into the dash. That's the same thing that happens here. The sensitivity is off, means it takes longer for it to get into motion. The dampening factor is how fast it takes for it to stop and change direction and come back. So basically, you slamming into the windshield is, you have no dampening factor because you're not wearing that seatbelt. There's just too much momentum. Now, as we said, this is hand wound out of basically garbage. The wire, there are plenty of different gauges that you would use in a particular style. This gauge, I don't know what gauge this is, but it's a very heavy gauge copper. When we measure this on resistance, and as I said, I will add those pictures to prove it later, this measures out at 8.9 ohms, which means that in all actuality, this is like an 11 ohm speaker. Now, who in the world runs 11 ohm speakers? You don't do that. You know, you can't say, oh, I'll run 2 cabinets because my amp is rated at 4 ohms. You can actually damage your amplifier with these speakers. So if you're going to pay for that JBL to begin with, why are you going to have this kind of crap put back into it? Why not go with factory authorized precision tooling made products that can be guaranteed, as we do, for a year? We give you a year's warranty. In our 17, 18 years of doing this, we have warranted 3 speakers. 2 of them was because there was a bad run of voice coils and the material came apart. 1 of them was because we got a bad batch of glue. So, you know, they just don't come apart. We do them properly. So that's what I'm telling you today. Now here's the other thing. So say that you can get this particular type job, which is a piece of garbage, done cheaper. How much are you saving to go to Mexicali? Well, we're right here local in the Coachella Valley. You can drop it off to us in an afternoon, and we may, you know, on times, depending on what we have in stock, if we have all the parts in stock, sometimes we can turn these things around in 24 to 48 hours. Sometimes it takes us a little longer if we have to order parts because they come from out of state. This customer is not going to do this while you wait. So you have a trip to Mexicali, a round trip to Mexicali to deliver the product. And a week or so later, whenever it's done, you have another round trip to Mexicali to pick it up. In the meantime, you didn't have anything to do your gig with because, you know, you didn't get it in on Monday and out on Tuesday and you're working Saturday. No, this one, you take it down on Monday, you miss a weekend, you go back the next week and get it again. So, you know, it's costing you money there. Not to mention the gas and the hours that you spent to drive to Mexicali. And not to mention now, I don't know when this law came into effect because, I'll be honest, I haven't been to Mexicali in many, many years. Now you have to claim, you have to declare what you're taking across the border. And they're going to charge you tax on it. Apparently there's some kind of fees. Okay? You may not say anything and you may get through. And if you don't get through, you do get caught with this stuff, this can cause them to actually, the U.S. government or the Mexican government, whoever it is doing that, it can cause them to actually confiscate your product. And now you could take a chance on actually losing your speakers. So, is it really worth it? You know, or is it worth to pay the few dollars extra and get what you paid for to begin with? That's your lesson for today, Speakers 101. This is Gary from Speaker Medic. Y'all have a great day.